First day at the ATP World Finals and two results. Djokovic beating the Italian Berrettini 6-2, 6-1, and then Thiem beating for the third time in the year Roger Federer 7-5, 7-5. Well, of course, Berrettini couldn't expect to win his first match at his first appearance at the Nitto ATP Finals against such a player like Novak Djokovic, who won this tournament 5 times, 4 times in a row, and then, as you know, he's probably the best returner on the circuit, and Berrettini has his best strokes in serves and forehand, but today he was unable really to get an advantage of his serve. He lost 5 times his serve consecutively from 2-all in the first set, and after that he made only 1 game since 2-all, the only game that he made in the second set. If you remember what was the score between Federer and Berrettini in Wimbledon, well, that one was 6-2, 6-1, 6-1, and today was more or less on the same trend, 6-2, 6-1, but as you know, there wasn't a third set. It wasn't the best of 5. Anyway, so Djokovic showed to be in great shape. He wants to become again #1 in the world. It will all depend also on Nadal's performance. I remind you that Nadal will play the tonight match versus Zverev, while in the afternoon Medvedev and Tsitsipas, they will play. Also, they will play as their first appearance, like Berrettini, but they have the advantage that they play to each other and no one is more experienced, while Berrettini, of course, had to play a much more experienced player. Well, of course, the match which was more balanced and more interesting to watch was the Thiem versus Federer. Federer started very badly. He lost immediately his serve, then he was able to break back, but then on 5-all he lost his serve. More or less the same kind of way was also in the second set. There wasn't an initial break point, but they reached 5-all when again Federer lost his serve. Federer had only 1 chance when he was up 2-1 on Thiem serves. He had a break point, and that was probably the best rally of the whole match. Thiem won it, and so he saved himself. So then afterwards, in the last game, Federer had twice the break point to go 6-all and play a tiebreaker, but he was unable to do it. That means that on Tuesday, the 2 winners of today will play one against the other, and the 2 losers too. So Federer will probably play Berrettini, and which means that most probably the one who will lose will be out of the tournament. It happened in the past that sometimes there was 3 players who all had won 1 match, and then you were counting games and set to determine who was able to reach the semi-final. But that is quite an exception. So, of course, for Berrettini it will be very tough to beat Federer when Federer knows that if he would lose, he would probably be out of the tournament. So let's see what happens in the next days. Today we had a great match, while the first match was a bit disappointing, and not just for the Italians, but for all those who had bought the tickets. Bye-bye, and see you tomorrow.